here we go. Another episode of our Pandemic Come Dine With Us. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for joining us again today, whenever you're watching it. Today, we're doing something completely new. Jeanette wanted to try something super new. I mean, we typically use new recipes that we haven't done before. This is a new technique, actually. So what we're doing today is an easy shrimp ceviche. And ceviche is made by cooking, I use the word loosely, cooking the raw fish in an acidic marinade of sorts, right?
Right, exactly, and that's what it does. So by marinating the shrimp and the scallops, and we're gonna actually get started right away, so it's gotta sit for a certain amount of time, so I'm gonna get going on that right away. Okay. And then once I'm done, you can explain it, but basically what it is by letting it marinate in the acids such as lime juice, lemon juice, vinegar, you break down the proteins and remove the harmful bacteria. And by doing it that way, you actually allow a lot more of the flavor to penetrate into the product, into the fish, into the shrimp, and the recipe calls for shrimp, of course, in my usual, I'm throwing in some extras, of course. So I'm actually doing the shrimp and scallop.
All right, so shrimp.
Scallops are one of my favorite. I'm an East Coast girl. I'm East Coast. I love anything.
So it's something that we can use not just with shrimp and scallops. We can use it for fish in general, correct?
Yeah, you can, absolutely you can, for sure. I probably wouldn't, only because I actually like raw fish. I am an authentic sushi lover. But this is cooked. It's just not cooked over heat.
Right.
It's the same thing. We will probably even see the color change from gray, right, to a nice light pink color. I actually prefer it this way for the reason of the flavors, that burst of flavor. But you can't overcook it, really. Like overheat. You could cook this, overcook it pretty quick. And all you have to do, and I know you can't see what I'm doing, I should have moved the basket or the container of the food I'll be using later on to chop up. But you're just loosely chopping it up. It's really easy. You can do it.
You've got shrimp there.
I have shrimp and scallops. So there's my shrimp, devein the skin off, tail off, and just quick little mini, just quickly chop it up a couple at a time.
Shrimp is really, really a great source of selenium, which we know is an antioxidant. So, and it provides it in a form that's easily absorbed by the body. This is what's kind of fantastic about shrimp. So obviously a great source of protein. It's low in fat, but high in protein. It's a good source of iodine, which is great for thyroid health. And obviously you're not going to do this recipe if you have seafood or fish allergy, clearly. So this one is not for you if you've got an allergy.
This one is not for you.
All right, so there you go. So the recipe calls for 1 cup of cooked or raw shrimp. So you're going to peel it and you're going to devein it. And then you're going to chop it up like Jeanette was doing, getting that into a bowl. And then we're going to create the marinade that it's going to sit in. And that's what's going to activate that cooking process.
Exactly. Yep. I'm going to chop up a few more in here. This is such I've never made it before. This is the first time that I'm making a ceviche. But I've tasted different variations of it before at different events or, weddings or things like that. Yep. And it's such a great, I missed one here. It's such a light, refreshing, flavorful. It can be an appetizer. It can be a salad. And you're going to see it the way I'm going to present it once we're done here on how that can be done. And really, really easy. I'm just going to finish up this one. I'm going to change my knife, change my cutting board. Very important to change your cutting board. Typically, I don't do that when our other cooking shows that we've done. I've cooked raw, I've chopped up some raw food on here, so I'm definitely going to change that up and change up your knife. There actually should be, your cutting board should actually be color coded.
Yes.
Between veg and meat and things like that, but.
Yep. Just to avoid any cross-contamination, that's a very good habit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Restaurants do that as a means to try and cut down on that cross-contamination.
So in the marinade, we want to get that in there right away, and then we can start chopping up everything else because you do want it to sit.
Okay, in the marinade, we're going to do, it's a 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice, so that's about 2 lemons. We're going to do a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice, which is about 3 limes. And we're going to do a 1/2 cup of fresh orange juice. So all of that is going in there, and we're going to put those in, and we're going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. So that marinade has time to activate and do what it needs to do. And while that's doing that, we'll cut up all the other stuff.
These lemons are amazing. Look how juicy they are. Look at that.
I wish we could see. It's hard to see.
Oh, you know, with this window right here, and the way my kitchen's set up, but it's not a complaint because before you know it, it will be winter when we do these, and it will be dark.
Yeah.
When we do
absolutely.
them. So there's the lemons. The lime juice is in there.
Okay.
Now add orange juice. Make sure it's all nice and covered. Perfect. And I'm just going to switch this cook a little bit there while we chop up everything else.
Excellent. All right, next on the list is 4 plum tomatoes.
The ones from my garden aren't quite ready yet, so I had to go buy them. But one of these soon, hopefully mine will be ready. My problem is my cherry tomatoes. Every time I go outside and I see even just one ready, I eat it.
Yep, absolutely.
They're so good.
Raspberries here. We have a bunch of raspberry bushes, and the same thing. Every time you walk by, you're just stuffing your face with fresh raspberries, right? All right.
No, yeah, I've got a big raspberry bush right here too.
Okay, so you're cutting up the tomatoes.
What I tend to do with my tomatoes in some of my recipes, and I'm going to do it in this one, is I'm actually going to de-seed it. So I'm only going to be really using the skin. There's already a lot of juice to this.
Yeah.
So the middle pieces I'm not going to use. You certainly can, but I've opted just to simply just in quarters, slice it out.
So you're using regular tomatoes here today, right?
Yep, regular fresh tomatoes.
Okay, so the recipe calls for plum tomatoes. Plum tomatoes are a little less juicy, so you definitely have that option to take out the seeds or not. Regular tomatoes like hothouse tomatoes or the tomatoes that you're using will be a little bit more juicy than plum tomatoes would be. But again, tomatoes are a powerhouse of nutrients. I mean, the lycopene is one of the active ingredients in it. Super, super, super delicious and super great for antioxidant value, right? There's lots of really great health promoting properties to tomatoes. It's got, vitamin C and vitamin K and manganese and magnesium and vitamin E. So all those really potent antioxidants that you want to see, that you want to intake, right? To try and keep your body healthy. So great. Hey, fun fact about limes. Fun fact about limes. So we put the lemon juice and the lime juice into the where the shrimp and the scallops are. Fun fact, in the 18th century, the British Navy ordered that every ship be, that they carry limes because they used to use it to prevent scurvy.
Really?
Yeah, well, they're tart, they're astringent, they're acidic, right? So it was just a fun fact that I found.
Yeah, interesting, eh? I always find it interesting doing stuff like that. We did, in one of our private sessions, we had group sessions, we had a Fun Fact Friday. They were a lot of always fun to research and to find out. And You learn some interesting things from it.
Definitely. Oranges as well, another excellent source of vitamin C. We put that in with the scallops and the shrimp as well. 60 different flavonoids, so super powerful antioxidant potential here. You do have to keep in mind, if you're watching your sugar, it's something to be mindful of. Oranges are high in sugar, right? So just something to be mindful of if you're watching that. Otherwise, great source of vitamin C. We want to make sure that you're getting a lot of vitamin C, especially these days. We want our immune system to be intact. We want that vitamin C in our body so that it helps to combat those free radicals. Now, just to recap, free radicals are those unstable molecules that go around and they steal electrons from other cells or molecules, and that's what makes them unstable as well. And now you're destroying cell health, right? Healthy cells are now being destroyed by these free radicals. You don't want that happening.
That just made me a little bit sad.
Why?
Because you talk about those, I would say, probably every come dine with us.
Yep.
And you're always here, except for the last 4 whatever months, and you go, it's weird being here, and this is what you do to me.
Yeah, my fingers just did it too, right in the air, right? I don't know.
I felt it virtually.
Well, that's good. I'm a hand talker. I'm glad you felt it.
Right. I definitely am as well, but always being the chopper and the dicer and the slicer, my hands certainly.
Your hands are busy.
Yeah, and I'm almost done.
Okay. After just
different
ways
ways
we're going to move on to. I always want to. I know they're jalapenos. Oops. Well, I know they're jalapenos, but I always want to call them jalapenos.
You always want to call them what?
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos.
I know they're jalapenos. What's life without wind beans and jalapenos?
I love jalapenos. I like spicy.
It's something that could be omitted though. If you didn't like a spicy dish, then you can absolutely, for sure, just omit this part of it. Not everybody likes spicy. That's a lot of tomatoes.
A lot of tomatoes. And I'm following the recipe on this one. For this piece, for the tomato piece, I am using 2 other ingredients that are good alternatives as well.
Okay.
And speaking of that, like if you're not a seafood lover, shrimp and scallop is not your thing, you're vegetarian, whatever, this has got enough in it. You maybe might want to add some peppers to it, really finely chopped though, because it's not really meant to be super crunchy, I find. But you can, add a few more things to it to beef it up. I don't know if I would do a bean or not, but maybe a really well rinsed, drained black bean might be nice.
Yeah, that's a good option. I mean, with those flavors, right? The lemon and the lime, for sure, that would be great.
Well, and that's it, right? Black bean and jalapeno are a great combination together. So that could also be something that you can alternate with. And the black in the color key would really pop as well with the red and the green.
Yep, that's true.
Almost done this, and then we'll be on to the next chop, which won't take as long. But we have to let it's really important to let the mixture marinate properly, because you want to get that bacteria out. Yep. And you could let it go a little bit longer than the 15, but I wouldn't do much less.
Okay.
Here. So tomatoes are done.
Excellent. So we're now going on to, we're doing about 2 jalapenos. So you're gonna remove those seeds again. We use jalapenos quite often in our recipes. We know that they're really great for metabolism, right? They rev us up from the inside. The powerhouse active ingredient is capsaicin, and that's the one it's a beauty. It can really help with a myriad of things, right? Nasal congestion. It can be anti-inflammatory. There's creams that are made with capsaicin that can help with pain relieving, right? So it becomes a pain relieving agent. May help to reduce cholesterol. So that's really great for heart health. So a lot of really good things happen when you ingest things like hot peppers, and where the active ingredient is capsaicin.
They if somebody who tends to touch their face or their eyes a lot, I would recommend wearing gloves. This can, even after washing your hands, I find that I could certainly smell it and feel it in my eyes if I have to rub my eye or something like that. So just be careful with chopping up anything spicy like this, that if you're having to wear rubber gloves, do so.
Yeah.
And then for the peppers, you really want a nice thin strip. So I chop off the top of it, split it open, remove all the seeds, either with my fingers or the spoon, scoop it out. And then I just end up with a piece like this, if you could see it on the length. And I just slice it up, nice little strips, and then I'll chop it into tiny pieces. Keeping the tomato and, avocado, the onion a bit chunkier,
yep,
that works as well. But you don't want a big chunk of jalapeno, especially for somebody who likes a bit of kick and not
right
to the face.
Right.
Because, so I just do really thin strips.
Okay.
I made a cheese dip this past weekend, and it had 4 jalapenos in it, some spicy jack cheese, spicy salsa. I threw in some cumin as well as hot, chili powder.
Yeah. And
I warned everybody at this backyard social distance get together with, we were about 4 of us, I guess 5. And I warned them, it's got a kick. You better be careful. As a kick, this is what I put into it. And it was funny because some of us, I was fine with it. In fact, I didn't think I needed to warn them of the kick. And then one of my other friends was suffering. So it's really funny to see what people feel is spicy and hot and too much.
Definitely.
I almost felt weird telling them that it was really spicy when I took my first bite, and it's not spicy. I don't think I needed to warn them at all.
Always better to err on the side of caution, right? It's not a bad thing to warn people, because they can either take it or leave it, right? But at least you've given them that warning.
I'm typically one of these people, when I do something like that, will bring a side dish of extra heat. I like spicy.
Apparently so.
Oh,
that got you.
That got me right in the eye. There could be tears in a second.
The juice got you in the eye?
Oh yeah, the juice went like right in the eye.
Oh damn.
So maybe it's not only gloves you need to wear, but maybe some safety goggles.
The whole thing.
You might need some safety goggles as well.
Oh dear.
Oh, we're good.
Okay, so after the jalapeno, we're gonna do 1 cup of jicama.
Or apple.
So jicama, what's interesting about jicama, so it's a starchy root vegetable type thing, and it kind of tastes like an apple, but it's a little less sweet. And so what you need to understand is the amount of fiber in jicama is insane. So for about 1 medium-sized jicama, it's about 32 grams of fiber.
Great.
Crazy. But that's a good thing, right? I mean, great for lowering lower cholesterol, so that's great for heart health. That's definitely good for constipation, right? Any kind of fiber will escort those toxins right outside the body, so it's great. So what you're gonna do is you peel off that brownish outer shell, and you're gonna chop it just like you would an apple. An apple is definitely suitable if you can't find jicama. You can't find jicama everywhere, that's for sure.
No, and you know what? I will. It's always great to talk about what I love that. I use it often enough. Apparently not that often because I couldn't find any when I went shopping. And in typical circumstances, I would have gone from store to store to store to store to try to find them. But just with everything that we're living through right now, it doesn't. I'm not one to go store to store for that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And two, I'm finding that there are still supplies and shortages in certain things, and things that are not super popular. They're really difficult now to find, and that's not a super popular item. So for this recipe for today, I did opt out for the apple. I chose a really nice light colored apple, really sweet. I thought it would be really nice with the jalapeno.
Excellent.
Offset it. Because, you know, unfortunately, we're still not there where we can just, you know, we can go to stores, but I'm still trying to be careful as to where I go and how many stores I go into.
Yeah, you know.
I've got one apple chopped up into there.
All right. Next is fresh cilantro.
One of my favorite.
So we're gonna do, so the recipe calls for about a half a cup of fresh cilantro, but can you really have too much cilantro?
It packs a punch, right?
It does. It's wonderful. Not everybody likes cilantro. We've talked about that before as well. It's just one of those things you either love it.
It is, eh? It's one of those love them or hate thems.
Yep.
I love them.
I do as well. I try to add it to most things. I love it. So high in vitamin K, high in vitamin A, high in vitamin C, high in antioxidants such as quercetin is a big one. It has antimicrobial properties. It's also known as Chinese parsley.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, isn't it?
Perfect. All right. So next, after the cilantro, is a quarter cup of red onion. By the way, for those who don't know, the recipe is on our website, fullbodiednutrition.com. So you can always go and download that and try it when you have time. Just FYI. So red onion, here we go. So we're going to do about a quarter cup of onion.
This is the one that's going to make me cry. Red onion always gets to me.
Well, it's potent. Orange, there's not orange, it's purple or red. I always call them purple onions, but the red onions are much more potent than a lot of the other onions, for sure.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot to get big impact.
Because I'm the only one who's going to be eating this.
Okay.
And I'm not a huge fan of red onion. I like it. But sometimes my belly doesn't as much as I do.
Well, it's potent. I think if I were to make this recipe, I would probably make it with green onion or chives. So you still get that oniony flavor, but without the major onion bite and crunch, right? I'm not a big fan of raw onion. So that chive or the green onions would still give you that onion flavor without the big onion. Oh, I got you, all right.
It got me. So we're not going to put very much in there.
No, that's good.
If I was sharing this.
Next, we have the avocado, and we're doing one full avocado. We know avocado is a powerhouse, right? Full of monounsaturated fat, super healthy fat, good for heart health, and so many other things. Let's see how you did with your avocado this time.
I know. I think it's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, you could do really
well.
well.
I hit the jackpot. Like we need a drum roll. Is that what you just said?
No.
Oh.
Excellent.
It's gorgeous.
Yep, nice job.
She's a beauty.
Simple chunky chop on that. Throw that in. And we're almost done. So this kind of thing is great, especially in this kind of weather. Like I'm looking outside. It's been 40-degree plus the last couple of days. It is crazy hot.
Oh, it is stinking hot.
Yeah,
It's
so you know,
again not a complaint.
anytime that you can avoid having to turn on that stove. And this
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
no, my stove does not get turned on. There's nothing
we
that will
tend to
turn on my
barbecue.
stove.
We tend to barbecue or use the pressure cooker so that there's much less heat in the house, right? That really looks beautiful.
It is. I'm just trying to peel that skin off. It's a little bit stuck still, but. And this is going to be served two ways. And I'm going to show you both today as either like an appetizer or if you want to bring it somewhere and looking nice, I'll throw it in the martini glass. So if you're going to do that, you might want to chop things up a little smaller. But the other way I'm going to do it is the way I'm going to have it for my lunch and probably my dinner tonight will be, I'm going to throw it into a mason jar. So I don't mind that it's a little bit chunkier.
Yep. That's a great option.
I'm really mangling this avocado right now. I'm sure all my chef friends are thrilled watching me just tear this apart.
I'm sure it's fine.
But it's working. It's working.
It doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to be delicious. Actually, I think that was something that one of our teachers says. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be healthy.
Well, and it's amazing because this is the first year that I've decided to get into gardening, and I've got some vegetables up there. I've got more lettuce than I know what to do with, and I have some radishes, and I've got beans and different kinds of tomatoes and peppers, green peppers, red peppers that haven't taken yet. I'm hoping they start soon. But you're realizing that they're not perfect, and they're delicious and they're flavorful, and it has certainly made me look when I go into the grocery store, these tomatoes that are also perfectly round and these peppers that are, you know, you've got a bin and they all look identical. That's just not the way things are grown. They don't grow that perfect, and they taste delicious right out of my garden. I sit out there and I just pick the beans off, and I don't even wash them. I just eat them right off the stem.
Yeah. All right. So after the avocado, that's it. So you're going to just kind of toss that up like you just did. Now you're going to take your shrimp mixture, shrimp and scallop mixture, and you're going to be adding that to this mixture here.
I didn't look at the clock. Has it been 15 minutes?
I believe it has.
Yep, perfect. I meant to, and we got sidetracked talking. That is so unlike us.
I know, right?
I get it. Move this right over. Give my counter a quick rundown. Burton is at my feet. He's like, oh, she's getting fancy today.
Something smells delicious. So how does it look?
It smells delicious.
Yep.
So I don't know if you can tell, but the scallops have, I'm going to show, well, you can't tell because the bowl, I get that. But the scallops have certainly changed color. They have they're not a little bit more white. Some of the shrimp is changing. They don't always change. Stir this up a little bit, get that flavor in there. I can smell the lemon juice. I can smell the lime. I can smell that orange juice. So good.
Yeah.
Yep. So a little bit of salt and pepper. quick stir. And the way I'm going to serve it for today.
Yeah, but first, aren't you going to add the two? You're going to mix the two?
I'm actually going to put this on the bottom.
Okay.
Just for color's sake. So if you throw that in a nice martini glass like that. And throw those on top. Take out the seed of the lemon and throw it on the chip. So we're going to serve this today. I'm a big fan of seafood. And you want a little bit of the juice in there.
Yeah.
If you're going to decorate that like that, and you're going to use, these are just tortilla chips. You take a little sprig of
That looks beautiful.
and if you are going to be going to work for the day or whatever, you can throw some on the bottom there. Throw some like that. A little bit more of the juice. Throw the lid on and
Done, ready to go.
good lunch.
No appliances
Do I get
needed.
to try?
They look beautiful.
Do I get to try? I'm definitely going in to try this. I got some apple and some scallops there and some red onion. Throw on that tomato. Mmm. Mmm. You could taste the freshness of the scallops. The tomato pops. Definitely have a bite of the, oops. Mm. Yeah, this is a hit.
I'm really missing out on all these meals, I gotta tell you.
Now, is this something that you would try?
I would, I'm kind of,
You're not,
I'm kind
you're
of,
okay with texture. Is it the raw piece of it that you feel is freaking you out?
yeah, it's definitely the raw piece of it. I mean, I too like sushi, so I know that raw fish is not an issue. It just kind of makes me nervous. You can buy the shrimp already cooked, right? So that's not a big deal. That would alleviate a lot of my issue with it. It doesn't mean that it's not safe to eat. It is. It's totally. But I just don't know that it's my thing.
It has but I eat oysters, I eat mussels.
Right. And see,
I eat all that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Blue cheese. That's it. I eat everything else. I'll at least try it.
You've seen me try mussels. We did mussels at our sexy food workshop and Dine.
We did do. Those were oysters.
Do that again.
They were oysters.
Oh,
So
right.
they're worse than mussels.
Not mussels. That's right. Oh God, I can't even imagine mussels. I don't want to do mussels. Let's just say that for the record, right here, right now.
If you could do an oyster, I think you would be well.
Nope, I didn't.
No,
like
it's not
the
true.
texture.
An oyster you put in, you swallow, down it goes. A mussel, you chew it. So if you have a texture thing, that could kind of get you. So if you're going to make this at home and you're not sure if people will do it, you can do it like I've done, keep it separate.
Right.
Because this on its own is also very delicious.
That's right. I was gonna say that on its own with the dressing, so like the lemon, lime juice, and orange juice, it's the salt and pepper. I would totally do that in that salad mixture, right? I would totally do that. That is my jam. There's all of those flavors I really love, so I could definitely see myself doing that. I just don't know about the fish portion. But the mason jar is a very good idea. The mason jar is a very good idea. You pop a lid on that, you're ready, and you're good to go. I love that idea.
It's good to go. And you know what? If you're concerned, I've added a little, I'm not concerned, obviously, I'm eating it. I've added a little bit more of the lemon juice on the bottom mixture. And that's where I put it. So if you wanted to make it
now and
now, throw the lid on, keep it. It's just going to infuse the flavor.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
Yep, I really like that. So that's cool. All right. Well, there you
Another
go.
one.
Another one for the books. Again, this is Easy Shrimp Ceviche. The recipe is on our website, on the main page. It's also in our members page. So along with all kinds of other recipes. If you haven't signed up, definitely head over to fullbodiednutrition.com to check those out. Just a reminder as well that we have multiple things going on. We have our wellness initiative ebook is out. Absolutely. We have our strategies group which is our Facebook group that we're just finishing up our oh my gosh, what's it called?
Immune?
Supercharge your body. Yep. So we're just finishing up on that, but there's good chances that we're going to repeat that process, or we're coming up with another group kind of session that we can do with everybody. So
sure.
We'll keep you posted on that one. And lots of other things going on. So sign up, subscribe, we'll get our emails. You know,
Great.
If you have any ideas, any recipes or ideas that you'd like to see us do, send them our way. Janice at fullbodiednutrition.com. Jeanette, Ginette at fullbodiednutrition.com. We're here for you, whatever you need, whatever you'd like to see. And that's that.
That's about it. Nice seeing you this way. I'm sending you big hugs again.
No, big hugs for sure. I miss you and I love you greatly. And thank you for joining us, everyone. We hope you try the recipe. If you try the recipe, let us know what you think.
Let us know. You know what? Aside from having you right here while we do this, and I just can't wait for that day, and probably should give our viewers a heads up, fair warning, that first few minutes of our first Come Dine with Us together, it's going to be just a lot of giggles, right? That's certainly who we are, and lots of excitement, probably like lots of touching. But I'm really looking forward to it. I love being able to see people watch us live when we do this live. I love being able to see people and do our shout outs. So to those, I know you know who you are. You watch us every week or every month, I should say. We both get messages. Hey, is it almost come down with us? They're waiting for it. We know who you are. You know who you are. We love you. We always thank you for your support. To the newcomers, we thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Our past ones are on there as well.
Yes.
And there's no end to this. We really enjoy it. I know we both do. And there's lots more Come Dine with Us. Hopefully one day soon, you can actually come dine with us.
Yes. Yes to all of that.
In the meantime, we do what we have. In the meantime, we're happy to do what we have to do to keep you and everyone safe and our family safe. So keep up the good work.
All right, we love you guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.
Take care. Bye.